majority of these questions. I've noticed that the amount of questions that I have has gone up significantly since last time, and I mean that's definitely a good thing because that means you guys care to an extent about my opinions on certain things, and I'm happy to answer all these questions. Hopefully I get about 50%, 60% done today. Like I said last time, I'm going to sit down here for a while and just answer these questions one by one. So we'll just get into it right now with the very first question. Do you like the look of Super Saiyan 3 Goku? And favorite abridged moment in Dragon Ball Z, I'm assuming, along with 2 characters you want to see fight in Dragon Ball Z. So for the Super Saiyan 3 design-wise, I mean, yeah, I actually really like it. I mean, taking away the eyebrows was a minor touch, but I feel like it does so much. Along with the hair, I mean, do I even need to go into reason with the hair? The hair is just epic within itself. I really wish they brought back the long hair, because I feel like the long hair, it's just a staple. It was a staple throughout Dragon Ball Z, and I want to see some villain with extremely long hair. Like Raditz had long hair, but he didn't really do anything. In all these fan mangas, Dragon Ball AF and Dragon Ball New Age, all their villains, like Rigor, he has long hair, and Zycor, I think I'm pronouncing that right, he has long hair as well, and they're just incredibly powerful. And, you know, I do want to see long hair return, either from a villain or a hero, but that's pretty much my opinion on Super Saiyan 3. But going on to the next part of your question, 2 characters that I want to see fight in Dragon Ball Z specifically is Beerus vs Vegeta as the Super Saiyan God. I mean, that fight, in my opinion, would be one of the greatest fights of all time. Unlike when Goku fought Beerus, Goku was unexperienced with the Super Saiyan God form, and I feel like Vegeta now has, along with Goku, Vegeta has mastered the Super Saiyan God form, and Vegeta is just relentless, you know, he will go the extra mile. And I mean, not saying that Goku wouldn't, I just feel like I want to see Vegeta fight a god. We haven't seen Vegeta fight a god ever. I mean, I don't want to count Frieza as a god. I mean, technically, if you want to say Frieza in his golden form is a god, I don't consider Frieza in his golden form a god, but I definitely want to see him fight Beerus. As for my favorite moment of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I'd have to say when Vegeta was having sex with Bulma. I mean, I haven't watched it in ages, but that's a moment that really sticks out to me as being pretty funny. So thanks for those questions, man. Now moving on to the next question, which is Shenron vs Porunga in terms of power, design, abilities, and usefulness. Also, which one do you like more? I prefer Porunga. I mean, this is a pretty interesting question because I've never really been asked this before, and I've never really thought about comparing the 2 Eternal Dragons. But if I had to choose one based on design and usefulness and power, I'd have to go with Porunga. He can grant 3 wishes. I mean, Shenron can grant 2 wishes. But Shenron, in terms of design, Shenron looks like a little snake lizard type of thing. I mean, Shenron's OG and I respect Shenron and all that. But Porunga, I mean, if Broly was an Eternal Dragon, he would be Porunga. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. So thanks for your question, man. Now moving on to the next question, which is what if Vegeta killed Goku during their fight in the Majin Buu saga? And I'm going to answer that right now really quick, as he simply couldn't have. Not because Vegeta wasn't strong enough, but because Goku was already dead. And that's going back to my recent video that I just posted, the most noticeable plot holes within Dragon Ball Z. I pretty much said that it's pretty much an inconsistency. Goku said that if you die twice, you cease to exist. However, that's false because King Kai stated at the start of the series, along with multiple other people, that you can't die twice. You know, it's impossible. So Goku was fighting Vegeta when he was technically dead. So Vegeta couldn't kill someone who's already dead. You know, it's impossible. He can knock him out, which is what he did, but he couldn't have killed him. So I can't really elaborate on this question much more, but I do want to thank you for your question, man. Now moving on to the next question, which is, what if Goten and Trunks didn't master fusion in time? Now I'm trying to remember back to the Buu saga. Let's say they couldn't fuse into Gotenks. They just didn't have the knowledge. Would that mean Buu would have just gone there? And since he was promised a warrior to fight, he would have gone to calm his lookout, and no one would have been there. So maybe he would have just killed them all there. But I feel like Baba or Yama would have seen the situation, and maybe they would have brought Vegeta back for one day, you know, like they did later on. And honestly, I don't see Vegeta doing anything against Super Buu, but I find that funny. Like, that's probably what would have happened. And if he could hold him out for maybe they could have gone in the hyperbolic time chamber and practiced fusion, because obviously time moves much, much slower in there. And I mean, I guess that's probably what would have happened. I think Vegeta would have been brought back, and that's pretty much it. Vegeta would have eventually, well, he couldn't have died because he was already dead, but he would have gotten beaten out of his Super Saiyan form and possibly knocked out. So I think that's a pretty interesting question. I may or may not make a video on that in the future. I'm not sure. I'd have to like do more research on the topic, but I do want to thank you for your question, man. Now moving on to the next question, which is, what type of music do you listen to? Now, recently, I've been listening to a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Z music, and I guess that's because I've been on a whole Dragon Ball Z mood lately. Ever since I've been making how many other videos I've made, I've just been in the biggest Dragon Ball Z mood lately, and I mean, I've been listening to remixes of Bruce Falconer themes. I've been listening to the original Japanese soundtrack. So as of right now, that's pretty much what I'm listening to. So thank you for your question, man. Now moving on to the next question, which is, what do you think would happen if Broly sided with Goku and became a Z fighter? I mean, okay, if Broly became a Z fighter, I don't see that happening just because Broly hates Goku so much. But if he did, if he was purely a good guy and he was still as strong as he was, I feel like he would have joined Goku around the Cell saga, because that's when he first got introduced. I mean, he would demolish Cell. No contest. I mean, he would demolish normal Cell. Super Perfect Cell, I don't think he would. But other than that, what use would Broly be to the Z fighters? I mean, does he get weaker? Will he not train? Will he get stronger? We don't know. But I just don't see that happening. It's too far of a what if to actually like put together, because you'd have to look at it as Broly being a good guy, which has never ever been the case. So it's really hard to put together. So thank you for that question, man. Now moving on to the next question, which is, how strong do you think Omega Shenron is? I mean, part of me just wants to compare him to the Battle of Gods characters, Beerus, Whis, God Goku, God Vegeta. But I feel like the gods would overpower Omega Shenron easily, you know? It's just, I feel like Super Saiyan God Goku could beat Omega Shenron. I feel like Super Saiyan God Vegeta could beat Omega Shenron, so therefore I think Beerus and Whis could easily beat Omega Shenron. But honestly, it's a tough question, because if you're trying to compare GT and Z, it doesn't go well, because we simply just do not have enough information on it. So it's fun to kind of speculate and just determine who is the stronger character in terms of raw strength, because obviously Toriyama doesn't give us much to go off of. But one thing to remember when you're trying to work out Omega Shenron's strength is that the spirit bomb that defeated him was taken from energy all around the universe. So every being adding up to one energy blast killed Omega Shenron in that specific universe, which was probably Universe 7. And if Beerus was in that position, would that have killed him? And I personally don't think it would have. Just because Beerus was able to take on Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Ultimate Gohan, Vegeta, Gotenks, everybody, and they are some of the most powerful beings within Universe 7. So even if every character in the universe added their energy together and used it against Beerus, it wouldn't kill him. I just don't feel like it would kill him, because he is that powerful to where he can just repel that attack. So my final answer is, I feel like Omega Shenron is very powerful, but I don't think you can compare him to Beerus, Whis, or any of the other gods. So thanks for that question, man. Now moving on to the next question, which is, do you think the DBZ series would have been better if Goku married Bulma and Vegeta married Chi-Chi? Absolutely not. I don't think anyone should have married Chi-Chi, to be honest. Chi-Chi was just there to make her kids study, and she's got a really depressing story if you think about it, because her husband was always dead, and she was always alone. So, I mean, what did Chi-Chi do for fun? You know, hang out the washing? I mean, seriously, come on. If Chi-Chi was going to marry anyone, I'd probably give it a Yamcha, to be honest. I mean, make his kids study, not Gohan or Trunks or anyone. So, if Goku married Bulma, though, I feel like that would be very interesting, because Bulma has been there, and I really like Bulma. So, if Goku and Bulma got married and had a kid, who knows how powerful he would be? Maybe he'd be weaker, or maybe he'd be stronger. I'd probably guess that he would be weaker, because Chi-Chi was a skilled fighter within herself, so that made Gohan pretty strong. But yeah, thank you for your question, man. Now moving on to the next question, which is, how powerful do you think a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta would be if that was a possibility? I'm going to say this right now, people are making all these kind of assumptions and theories as to why we're never going to see Gogeta again, because in the end of Revival of F, Goku and Vegeta said to each other that they're never going to work together again. Akira Toriyama wrote that in there, so people don't expect that. Of course we're going to see fusion within Dragon Ball Super. I mean, maybe a God fusion, maybe the same fusion, or maybe the villains fuse. I just don't think because Goku and Vegeta said to each other that they're never going to work with each other ever again, that they won't. I mean, they've said that before, but they still have. You know, I just don't see that as a sufficient argument. I definitely think we're going to see maybe a Super Saiyan God Gogeta in the future. But in terms of his strength, I still don't think he would be able to match Whis. Or maybe he would. I don't know. I'm still confused on that. I mean, I made a video pretty much asking you guys who do you think would win, and it was pretty much 50-50, you know? People were for Whis, other people were for Vegeta Super Saiyan God, or Gogeta Super Saiyan God. You know, it's up for debate, and we seriously have we barely have anything to go on, and we need more content. Like, I can't stress that enough. We need more content of Dragon Ball Z to be able to further analyze the series. It's very hard to judge how strong a Gogeta Super Saiyan God would be. That's why I like leaving these sorts of things as questions for you guys to answer in the comments, because I really enjoy reading what the entire community has to say about who would win in a certain fight. I mean, that's fun to read all these sorts of different scenarios that could play out. But I really want to thank you for your question, man, and I think I'm going to end the Q&A session right here. I think I got through a handful of questions today. I would have liked to get through more, but I think I'll leave that for next week. And as always, guys, you know what to do. If you want to ask a question, I'll leave a link down in the description below. It will be the very first link. And as always, I will see you guys in the next Dragon Ball Z video.